Here, look. Hello and welcome to Card Kingdom's weekly Legacy tournament here at Card Kingdom. I'm Josh Monks.
I'm Mike.
Kiesel. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How are you?
Really excited. Just got done with the Vintage tournament this weekend. Now I'm looking to cool down a little bit, commentate some Legacy. A little bit slower, a little bit less ridiculous, but it's got more brainstorms. So.
Were there any turn 1 kills on camera?
There weren't any turn 1 kills. There was a turn 2 kill in the Storm Mirror, but that was as close as it gets.
All right.
There was one match that I wasn't watching, and I don't know what turn it was, but Shawnee, you played Surgical Extraction and took all of David DiMalate's win conditions out.
Right.
I don't know if that was turn 1 or turn 2, but that might have been a turn 1 effective win.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of combo actually.
Ton.
Yeah, there was I think 5 Storm decks and 1 Belcher deck. Mm-hmm. And then there was a lot of just Grixis style.
Yeah, a ton of grindy mid-range decks as well.
Yeah.
What were you playing?
I was playing Storm.
How did that go for you?
I played against Shops 3 times and then Hate Bears and then a deck with main deck Stony Silence.
Oh, so basically you're telling me you had a terrible time playing Vintage.
Yes, it was not particularly fun, except for the one time where I destroyed my one shot. The one matchup I won against Chops.
Oh, yeah?
Where I just ended up turning Hercules him twice.
Oh, that tends to make that matchup pretty easy. You bounce all their sphere effects and then you just win the game on the spot. Well, not on the spot, but on your next turn after you untap.
Right.
But yeah, so we're just getting set up for round 1 here at Card Kingdom. I believe that we're going to have Brent Trout and James Helms on camera.
Yep.
And James is pretty notorious for playing Birthing Pod decks, but recently he's kind of audibled more to an aggro loam dump truck strategy. He calls it dump truck, I call it aggro loam, everyone else calls it aggro loam. Maybe it is dump truck?
Starcity calls it Punishing Abzan.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you know that deck. Chalice of the Void, Mox Diamond, Dark Confidant, Liliana the Veil, Knight of the Reliquary.
Knight. I wonder if he has the... I think the main difference between those variety decks is some run Dark Depths combos, some don't.
Oh, okay. Do you think that's where the naming difference comes from?
No, I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
That's gonna be your
I think
answer.
it's still. I think it's still just one style of deck.
It's an archetype title, okay.
But there's some subtle variations. I think Russ, the GP was running Dark Depths.
Yeah. He top 16, right? He didn't top 8 though.
Yeah, he lost his winning.
Oh, Chase Hansen, right?
Yes.
Another Seattle player.
Yes.
There was quite a few Seattle players in the top 8 actually. Pretty impressed. There was at least 2. MGK and Chase.
Yes, those 2.
And then I don't know if there was anyone else.
No, but they trickled down.
Yeah, the trickle down. Yeah, we had 30 people or something like that in the top 100?
I think it was less than. I think it was 15-ish.
Okay.
But
all right. Well, looks like we just got that match set up, so we're gonna head right down there for your guys' viewing pleasure.
Yep.
So we got Brent on the right. He's actually playing Red-Green Lands versus James playing Punishing Junk. James's opener, I see Life from the Loam. I see that Mox Diamond to accelerate.
Yeah.
I see a Punishing Fire.
Chalice of the Void, Wasteland.
So, if you were James here, do you just run out Chalice of the Void on 1 just to start out every single game, or do you think maybe you want to hold on to it, see that he's playing lands, and play it on 2 to stop Life from the Loam and Punishing Fire?
Well, he doesn't have Mox Diamond in hand, so
right.
he couldn't actually. But I think if he did, that's what you're playing this deck for, is to jam Chalice of the Void on 1.
Absolutely. Okay, so Brent's going to start out with a Mox Diamond here, discard that Maze of Ith, and I imagine he's going to play that Gamble in his hand, possibly for an Exploration.
Yes.
I see a Crop Rotation, though. Maybe he wants to jam that off end of James's turn.
That's the thing, is Chalice of the Void on 1 is actually really good against lands. Mm-hmm. Even though Chalice of the Void is often played in the board of lands, but it hits Exploration, Mana Bond, so all your acceleration.
Yeah,
it hits Gamble and Crop Rotation.
So your tutor effects and your explosiveness.
60% of your spells in your deck it hits.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, I think those spells are much more important on turn 1. And so if James plays a Chalice on the Void here, it's a little bit worse, as Brent will be able to fire off that Crop Rotation at instant speed in response.
Yeah.
Until then, let's see exactly what James does. He's going to fetch here, go down to 19. I imagine he's going to get a Taiga or a Savannah. Bayou or a Savannah. Those tend to be the 2 lands that you get starting out. Based on the hand, it can change a little bit. And it looks like he's going to go for a Savannah. I was right. Or is that a scrub land?
I think that's a scrub land. I think that's a scrub land.
Okay, I was wrong. I take it all back.
Which makes sense because he has a Grove in hand, so he kind of has all mana.
That's the red-green. Yeah, he's got that Bob in play. He's also got a Wasteland. Maybe he's going to play a Dark Confidant here, or a Teague. He actually has a lot of 2-mana cards. If he plays the Teague or the Bob here, it's going to get Punishing Fired by Brent. So we'll have to see exactly what it is. It is going to be that Bob. See what Brent elects to do. It looks like Punishing Fire instead.
Yeah, makes
Very
sense.
Intelligent line.
Would you... I mean, if you're worried about... I mean, I guess you can't really do much about Punishing Fire anyway.
Chalice on 2.
Chalice on 2.
That also stops Bob and Teague, though, so...
But you could, like, jam...
It looks like Brent's going to fire off a Wasteland here on that Savannah, and he's going to follow that up with...
Life from the Loam. Oh, wow.
Card advantage right there. 2
yeah.
mana divination. The perfect divination.
This is going to be quite the stranglehold. Though Brent has the Wasteland Loam lock online, and he has accelerants between like Exploration and Mana Bonds. If he gets those out, he can just outland James, and I don't think there's an easy way to come back from this.
Absolutely. It looks like James is going to fire off a Sylvan Library here. I imagine that's going to be drawing them some cards here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So Sylvan Library, it lets you draw 3 extra cards, and then you have to put 2 back or take 4 for each card. There's some very strange interactions with Life from the Loam.
Sylvan Library is actually really powerful, I think, in this matchup because lands tends to just 20 you or nothing, so you can actually get card advantage off Sylvan Library and have it not really hurt you.
Yeah, you don't want to go too low because if Brent just starts putting out the Punishing Fire, Grove of the Burnwillows lock, being at 6 all of a sudden sounds like a much less healthy ordeal than it would otherwise.
Right.
Brent's in the tank here. It looks like he's going to fire off a Gamble.
Yeah, I think trying to get Exploration here is just...
Well, I think he has an Exploration. Oh, no, he's got a Crop Rotation.
He has a Crop Rotation in hand.
Do you want to get maybe a Mana Bond here, or do you think Exploration is right?
I like Exploration.
Okay. I can definitely see a case for both. Oh, it looks like he's going to get a Mana Bond.
I think if you value the Crop Rotation, which you often do, especially like he doesn't have a Grove right now for his Punishing Fires.
Yeah. Making sure we know at home exactly what he got, and the answer is Mana Bond.
Let's see if the gamble's worth it.
1-2, so he's going to lose a Wasteland. So definitely worth it.
Yes.
Effectively lost nothing. I imagine he's going to fire off this Mana Bond, and then he has not played a land yet this turn, so he'll play a land and potentially fire off that Crop Rotation.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's going to play a Mazavith. I don't really like playing the Mazavith there.
Well, he's going to Crop Rotate it away, I think.
Oh, right.
If you're going to Crop Rotate something, you Crop Rotate the Mazavith.
Of course. That makes a lot of sense. And then he can use the mana that he gets from this land to play that Mana Bond.
Yeah, I like getting Grove here. That's...
Seems right.
Yeah.
I can see holding on to Crop Rotation until you hit one of the 2 Dark Depths pieces. However, if you don't have either and you're going to play Mana Bond, you should play that Crop Rotation right now.
Yeah.
He's going to give James a life. You can have that life, James.
Back up to 20.
And, I don't think he's got any lands in his hand, but he's definitely going to trigger that anyways. He's got a life from
I think he has a Windswept Teeth in hand.
Oh, so he's got a Windswept Teeth and a Life from the Loam. Life from the Loam is going to get binned. Windswept Teeth is going to come into play. Turn back to James. He's got a library trigger. He's going to go ahead and use that. He's a Liliana, a Bob, and another Sylvan Library. Not really what you want to see here.
Not really what you want to see, and he has no fetches in hand or anything.
He's got a Barrenmore.
I think you just eat this. I think you just take them all.
Yeah, you just take 8 here.
Yeah.
Ancestral Recall.
You got to get through your library. These are all dead cards you need to get through your library.
Absolutely. You definitely need an untapped land here, and so anything you do besides that's just not going to help. Yeah. It looks like he's going to play the Chalice of the Void here on 1, but the damage has already been done. Brent's already fired 2 spells off that cost 1 mana, and now doesn't have any cards in his hand. Yeah. I have to imagine Brent's also going to be Dredging Loam every single turn, which isn't a 1 mana spell.
I guess that's the benefit, too, to Mana Bond over Exploration. There is always going to be the threat of Chalice of the Void on 1, and so you may not be able to resolve any more spells anyway.
So you might as well fire it off now.
So, well, you get the added advantage of being able to play all your lands off Mana Bond, and casting your 1 mana spells into the Chalice of Void is roughly the same as discarding them in your instant.
Absolutely true.
So, Mana Bond is just slightly better in that case.
Sometimes your opponent missed the Chalice triggers, but I would not rely on that.
Yes.
So it looks like this Dredge is going to hit a Life from the Loam. I believe that's a Wasteland, and then a Cycle Land? Oh, no, that is...
the Riftstone Portal.
Riftstone Portal.
Yeah, so Taiga, Riftstone Portal, and... no Wasteland.
So Riftstone Portal is going to make all of Brent's lands tap for green or white while it's in the graveyard. So effectively all of his lands are now just a free Savannah.
Yep.
Riftstone Portal by itself only taps for a colorless, which is too bad. But when it's in your graveyard, it's pretty powerful. Looks like he's going to get back a Wasteland.
Yeah, and that's game because he's going to put the other Wasteland in play, and that's basically locked out. So, yeah, I think Red-Green Lands just kind of has the natural advantage in this matchup. Both are kind of playing this Wasteland, Loam Lock, but Punishing Junk is just a little too slow for that.
I agree. I think that if James had the Mox Diamond instead of Brent there, the game would have been very different. If James had been able to accelerate out a turn 1 Chalice of the Void, it would have slowed down Brent's hand considerably. He lost that Mana Bomb play, lost that Crop Rotation play, lost the Gamble play.
Yeah.
But the game did not play out that way. Instead, Brent had the Mox Diamond and was able to accelerate around Junk's hate cards.
The other thing, too, is, like, both decks are Wasteland decks, and one deck is playing 2 colors, the other deck is playing 4 colors. Mm-hmm. There's just some natural greed on the 4-color deck, I
Absolutely.
guess.
And we saw that happen to James there. He couldn't really play any of the cards in his hand because the only mana source he had in his hand was a Barrenmoor, which comes into play tapped.
Right. He had all these after he got wasted off Scrubland, he had a lot of 2-drops in hand to choose from, but he could only actually cast the Sylvan Library.
Yeah. Gaddokeeg was uncastable, Dark Confidant was uncastable.
He just flashed us what he boarded in, and I didn't see it. So he's taking out the Punishing
I saw what he
Fires.
boarded out. I didn't see what he boarded in.
He boarded out the Punishing Fires. I'm not sure what he boarded in. And I'm trying to think.
I gotta imagine some graveyard hate. There's gotta be some one-sided graveyard hate in this board, right?
I would imagine.
In this
Maybe.
match,
I think there's 3 Leyline in the Voids.
Okay.
So
Makes
that's
sense.
probably what brought it.
it's a good option. Very powerful in this matchup. If you get it in your opener, of course, you can just cheat it into play, start with it there. Brent's gonna have a hard time beating a turn 0 Leyline in the Void.
Yep.
If you're James here, do you like playing Chalice of the Void on 1 or 2?
I think it's very situational. Like, there are times where you want it on 2, and there are times...
If you have the turn 1 Chalice play, do you play it on turn 1 or do you think you wait for it?
I definitely think you play it on turn 1.
Okay. Simply because you're on the play and you can shut down the early plays?
Yeah, simply because Brent's most powerful starts require 1-drops.
Okay, so it looks like Brent's going to take out some Punishing Fires. He's going to bring in a Crossing Grip, a Bojuka Bog, and then what looked like a red card.
It was a Molten Vortex.
Oh, so the mini Seismic Assault.
Yes.
Red mana for an enchantment, red, discard a land, shock something. Pretty
Yes.
powerful, actually. Really good with Life from the Loam.
Yeah. It's good as... What did he take out? Did he take out a Punishing Fire?
I saw 2 Punishing Fires, and then I couldn't tell what the other one was. It looked like a land, but, there's a lot of lands in the deck, so I'm not going to say which one because I don't know. I will say I really like...
I think he took out like a Dark Depths because you're going more long game.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think you might have been right. It might have
Your
been
your Stage Depths combo can get taken out by a Timely Wasteland. So you just Brent's goal is to just establish control.
Yeah, I think Brent's deck is favored as the game goes along, whereas James is much more powerful early if he can lay down his hate pieces.
Yeah.
What I do really like is both of these players' sleeves match the Card Kingdom playmats that they just are using. And let me tell you, I really like those Card Kingdom playmats.
Those are Speed Card King playmats.
I kept bringing them up in the Vintage tournament. I'm going to keep bringing them up today in the Legacy tournament as well.
Do you want me to give you the price?
The price?
The price for the card we sell them.
Yeah,
You guys sell these? I thought that they were a secret and we weren't allowed to own them. I'm going to get one of those.
there's one like right behind you.
Well, you know what? That one's going to be mine.
Okay.
Maybe
There's
not
actually
that one
two.
because it's all bent and stuff, but the one behind it, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet they're also
Already
being sold
retiring
on-
the Bob Bolt?
No, I mean I'm gonna have both of them.
Okay.
I'm gonna whip both of them out at the same time, take up 2 seats. That's the dream.
The problem now is I own too many cool playmats. So, like, Card King playmat is really cool, but it would just add to the repertoire of stack of playmats that I got.
To be fair, I think everyone that plays Magic has that room that's got a table that's just covered in playmats.
Yep.
And I think both the Bob Bolt and the Card Kingdom playmat would be great for that.
Yep.
So it looks like James is going to take a mulligan here. This is basically the same hand. 3 Mox Diamonds, no lands. That's exactly what
Perfect.
his last hand had.
Perfect. That's not what you want to see here.
Definitely not the dream.
Yeah.
And so he's going down to 5 here. He's going to be on the play versus Brent. Not a great place to be when you're down a game is mulligan 5.
No, and I'm not sure how this deck mulligans. I can't imagine it mulligans too well. It is trying to assemble a lot of resources. Like, Reanimator really doesn't need to assemble a ton of resources. Like,
I think red-green lands mulligan's a lot better than punishing Jund.
Yes.
Or punishing Abzan, if we will. I think that the aggro loam deck that James is playing, it's a lot more important for him to have a Chalice of the Void, and a Mox Diamond, and enough lands to fuel that, and then probably a Life from the Loam as well. And just when you're naming off 5 cards you need in your opener, having 5 cards in your hand is not really where you want to be.
right.
For the record, the playmats are $14.99 plus tax.
Okay, all right. I'll keep that in mind. So this hand has one land. It's got a Bayou. He's got a Bob. He's got a Chalice, and he's got a Loam. I mean, you got to keep this.
Yeah,
But
you got to keep that.
he's gonna send it back. He's going to 4 here.
I think
You keep that. You scry one. Really hope it's a land on top.
I found that this deck, in playing with it, oftentimes you have green mana, and you don't have a couple other colors that you want, and you just need to draw into those fetches.
Yeah, you have 2 colors and you need 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that hand, it wasn't even that taxing on mana. He had a Bayou, and he had a Dark Confidant and Neither Reliquary as his colored spells.
Well,
so one land would have been able to cast those.
Did he have a Bayou?
Yeah, he had a Bayou. That was the land.
Okay,
he was
I thought it was Tranquil Thicket. But...
It looked like a Bayou. I saw the green and the black square going on.
Okay.
So James is going to 4 here. And this
Okay.
hand has a land, an Abrupt Decay, a Teague, and a Mox Diamond. So pretty good.
Oh, the daggers.
That's the worst. That is the absolute worst. He's not happy about that.
Nope.
That was a Leyline of the Void on top of his library.
Yeah,
And
right where you want it.
Yeah, sadly, you cannot put that one into play. Oh, he's not happy about that. And then Brent's hand looks pretty solid here. He's got a couple gambles. He's got what looks like a crop rotation and some wastelands. So
I think those are a couple ports. I think he has a wasteland and 2 ports.
Okay, I trust you. So it looks like he's going to fetch Taiga, immediately fire off a gamble. Shortcut that shuffle. I wonder if he's going to get life from the loam. Gotta be.
Yeah,
right?
you just gotta get
He
life.
doesn't have a loam right now, so that card is basically just life from loam. 5 through 8. Does he play 4 gamble, do you think?
Oh yeah, you play. Yeah, the original lists of Red Green lands. Well, they always played 4 gamble, but they've always played 3 of some things and a couple of 1-ofs, and they've all just solidified down to 4 gamble, 4 exploration, 4 loam, 4 punishing fire, and 4 Mox Diamond and 1 mana bond.
Okay, so you want the mana bond there to tutor for, but you might not want redundant copies?
And it's very often the card you board out because it's really bad in sideboard games because you want to keep because your sideboard is mainly all spells.
Yeah,
And that doesn't work with mana bond.
absolutely not. Mana bond definitely only lets you put lands into play.
Yes.
Will not let you put Leyline of the Voids into play. So it looks like James ripped a land off the top after bottoming that Leyline of the Void,
Okay.
and I think do you play the Gaddock Teague, or do you just leave Abrupt Decay mana? You get to do either one. I feel like this is just dead to a Punishing Fire.
I think you just play it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure James is just out of the match at this point. I don't really think you can come back from an Ancestor Recall.
Not really.
What's the 4 card? Opportunity? Yeah, Opportunity. I don't think that James can beat an Opportunity on turn 1. Let's see exactly how Brent decides to deal with this Gaddock Teague. I imagine he goes land Punishing Fire, but maybe he just plays a Rishidan Fort and passes. Maybe he
don't know.
wastelands the Taiga here?
Yeah, I'd see Wasteland. He has an opportunity to shut him out of mana here.
Yeah. You may as well Fun Police your opponent when they mulligan to nothing.
Yeah.
When he draws life from the loam. Oh, that's a green sign, actually. So he can green sign for Deathrite Shaman here. Oh, no, he
No.
can't. There's a Gaddock Teague in play. That's
Oh
awkward.
yeah. These top decks.
The synergy there is very
Yeah.
evident. Greenson Zenith, very good at getting Gaddock Teague. Greenson Zenith, very bad at
I
playing
wouldn't
long
do
Gaddock
that.
Teague
He's
in
gonna
play.
try to do that, and then.
I think Brent will stop him. The
Yeah.
game will be rewound.
Yeah,
Brent's like, hey.
Yep.
And James, he's just going to have to ship the turn back. We have, it looks like a Cycled Tranquil Thicket. Even though Brent discarded 1 to a gamble, he's got a second one right in the wings.
Yeah.
Draw for the turn. That's a Tabernacle. So he can just ice James out of mana. Or James, of course, could just choose not to pay for the Gaddock Teague and play that Green Sun Zenith in his hand.
Yeah, I like just doing this. I see no reason to Punishing Fire the Gaddock Teague when your opponent has revealed that they have Green Constantine.
Absolutely. I am with you there 100%. So it looks like he's going to just play that Loam and pass. He played a Rich Import and then Loam and pass.
Yeah. He has, another gamble in hand?
He's got a Gamble, a Punishing Fire, and like a trillion lands. He has to discard a hand size thing.
Yeah. Which is where you want to be.
Yeah,
Because you can gamble next turn for an exploration and then really shut things out.
Absolutely. When you play Life from the Loam to draw 3 cards and have to move to discard, you're in pretty good shape.
Or he could even really gamble for Croson Grip for that Mox Diamond.
Oh, he draws Croson Grip.
Or
Even
just
better
draw
than
it.
Gamble.
Or just draw it.
That doesn't even cost mana.
Boom.
Oh,
Done.
oh no.
Wait. Oh no, he did play his land drop, so he's not going to be able to play that
wouldn't have been
Tabernacle.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to play Gamble and the Croson Grip, but he can play 1. James is just going to be attacking for 2 till the game ends, probably.
Well, the Tabernacle's coming down this turn.
Okay,
It's
well,
still in the sands.
You know, I assume James is going to concede when that happens, but
Yeah.
maybe not. We'll see. This is an incredibly one-sided game here.
Yep.
There's the tab.
There's a tab. Mr. Tabernacle.
That Gaddock Teague now has an upkeep cost.
Okay, so he gambles.
I like gambling after playing the tab. I think Tabernacle is definitely the card that you'd want to play here, so now you can't discard it. I don't really think it matters what you get.
I don't think it matters. You have the Punishing Fire.
I think you get Grove here just so you have the Punishing Fire Grove.
He has
combo.
Grove in hand.
Oh, he does? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed that. Maybe he gets Mox Diamond. I don't know why
I would get Acceleration here.
Okay. I feel like Mox Diamond is acceleration. It's like basically a
Or he's just getting one half of the combo.
Okay. Was it Dark Depths or was it Thespian
I
Stage?
think he got Dark Depths.
Okay, makes sense. Pretty reasonable. You can start spending 3 mana a turn to rebalance from that. Oh, it's
Oh,
Thespian
it is Stage. Okay. Stage makes more sense, I guess.
James is going to double check that wording on Tabernacle.
But he's playing with... That's clearly an Italian Tabernacle, so...
Well, you know what? James is going to read it in Italian anyways.
Yeah.
You got to roll. It's a 6. Discard that Grove of the Burn Willows that he did not tutor for. I thought he was going to. He had one in hand already. Upkeep, that Gaddock Teague trigger will occur. Well, the Tabernacle trigger on the
Oh,
Gaddock Teague.
okay. Mox Diamond. At least he has a Dark Depths, so...
Yeah, so you can play Mox Diamond, discard Dark Depths, and now we can Green Sun Zenith for 0, but of course Brent has a Punishing Fire to get rid of that Death
Yeah.
Ray Shaman.
Well, and Wasteland. Well, no, he doesn't... Not Death Ray Shaman, you're talking Dryad Artwork.
Oh, right, for 0, I'm sorry.
The Punishing Junk doesn't actually run any Death Rights.
Oh, I thought they run it as a 1-F.
I actually strongly think it should be, to be honest.
It seems like one of the best Green Sun targets in the format, especially in like this grindy mid-range deck. We're going to see an end-step Rishadan port to tap
Yeah.
down Triad Arbor.
Who came up with you guys when there were the 3 of you? I got the one dude, but now I can't find the
Matt?
third. I got the guy with the glasses. There's another dude though that ordered a
don't
turkey
know.
baker.
Careful.
I got this. That's what I get for trying to run people or stuff. Are you guys on the air right now?
We are, yes.
Oh, awkward. Why didn't you tell me that?
We started talking.
Uh,
Had a little food spill, but we're
yeah.
okay now.
Yes.
Looks like Brent's going to play a Thespian Stage, potentially copying just about any land in play. Probably not the Tabernacle.
No, probably not.
What's awkward is that Green Sun is going to die if he doesn't spend mana on it. And you know what?
Yep, that's-
Brent realized that. And the awkward part is that it's James's trigger to remember, not Brent's. So
Yeah.
if James is to miss the trigger, the creature dies. You don't put it back on the stack.
The creature is destroyed,
Oh,
which is relevant.
You're correct.
which is relevant for Merit Liege, because you don't have to pay on your own.
Which I think is very funny.
Yes.
So, sometimes you see people do it.
Yes.
I always remember that interaction. I forget the wording though. Basic Forest off the top. That's going to
It's
be a Dark
just
Knight.
an extra way you can rub it into your opponent when you have a Tabernacle in play, and then you make a Dark Depth token, go to your turn, and they go, aha, gotcha! And you're like, nope,
Gotcha.
got you, attack you for 20.
Sounds about right. So we're going to see a crop rotation here. I don't really think it matters what he gets. I imagine it's going to be the other piece of the combo though, now that he has Thespian Stage and Dark Depths. He's going to go ahead and make a 20/20, and I imagine James is just going to pick up his cards when he dies to a 20/20 here.
Yep,
Oh, and the reason why he has enough mana there is because he floated the mana off the Rishadan port.
yep. All right,
That was a really quick match.
yeah, Brett gets it in 2.
Welcome back to the booth, guys. So that was a 20-minute round 1. So, you know what, we're going to definitely find a backup match and bring it to you as soon as possible. Give us just a couple minutes to bring that to you guys live. Until then, stay tuned.